Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Monday, everybody. We hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
Didn't lose any fingers from setting off fireworks or anything like that.
Nope. But yeah, appreciate you all joining us. Busy week of Union 2 and Union action ahead of us. We got the return of the Open Cup. Like I
The
was
return of some players too.
hopefully some return of some players. For sure a couple. We'll see what their statuses are.
Mhm.
But also, yeah, I mean, lots of Red Bulls and a big showdown in MLS Next Pro on Sunday. So a lot to discuss today. But yeah, I mean, we got we got a lot of clips from busy past week. We were down training. You were down there.
Yes.
We were down Union 2 on yesterday.
Yep.
And we got some thoughts from the Nashville match as well. So yeah, let's dive into this before we get started. What are we wearing?
All right. Well, I thought about wearing my um, you know, beat the Red Bulls kind of shirt that I have, beat the Bulls, whatever, that I got a couple years ago. But I actually this one also has a tie to the Red Bulls. So I'm wearing the one that says Philly or Nothing shirt that was given out at the 2019 home playoff match against you know who,
Yeah,
the Red Bulls. That was first playoff game we've ever attended
yeah,
and quite memorable
that
with
was
the Fabian goal there at the end.
Mark Fabian goal, his
hmm
first home playoff win,
Like
first playoff home game. Like, yeah, lots of memorable moments in that match.
that match was something like wow.
So here's to hopefully seeing the Union create some more memories this week against
Good memories.
yeah, good memories. They're gonna have two cracks at it, but I am wearing the Adidas Skull soccer ball.
That's like one of your favorites there.
Yeah, it is. It is one of my favorites. I haven't worn it in a while, so had some time to actually change out my work clothes. So
Good.
thought I'd throw this on. And but yeah, before we go into it, where can people find us?
So we have our website, the one team we agree on.com. You can find us on our YouTube channel from the One Team We Agree On. On social media, we are on Twitter and Blue Sky at TOTWAG. And we're at the One Team We Agree on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at silly double underscore Jilly on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'm also on Blue Sky at Jillian Almany. And I'm on TikTok at Jillian underscore Almany. And Kyle can be found at Coach Almany on
Yep.
all the places.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, I can be. Uh, Before we dive into Nashville and a couple of the interviews from players this week and some topics, a lot of kit releases kind of starting to creep out, as you guys know. We saw the
hmm
Gazelles, they've been released.
Yes, which I know some people are unhappy that not one's for the Union. Although I have a pair that looks very much like Union.
You do, and they're very nice. But anyway, there have been some kits that have been leaked. Now we always wait for the official, but what are your thoughts on any of them that stand out yet?
There are some real nice ones, from what I saw. But now I'm like trying to think which ones did we see? What, Seattle?
There's been a
Or
couple. I think Columbus kind of leaked some things, San Jose, Inter Miami.
oh, let me talk about Inter Miami's. Like, because I know that's officially been out.
Yeah,
And they're like on the diving board and stuff, and I hate to say it, but I really like it.
I'm not a fan of it. I don't know why. It's too. I get why a lot of people like it. It does have that Miami vibe to
It
it.
does. I think
Yeah,
it's very fitting for them. No, like I like it,
it's
but
okay.
um
I'm really not a fan of it. I mean, I
who's
know I just
yeah.
said it was okay, but I don't know. I would like to see them done more with it.
Yeah, they were 100% like taking those pictures at the Hall of Fame pool too,
Oh, 1000.
which
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
both been there. But no. Oh, whose was it that I saw the other day and I'm like, I really like that.
Seattle's.
Seattle, it was Seattle. They
Seattle's
don't
is
miss.
class.
They do not miss.
Seattle's is class now. I want to see what the final version looks like, but that looks good. Minnesota's was nice,
Oh yeah.
but I feel like they could have done a little bit more with, I don't know, it just is like a loons kit with the loons on it, which I kind of like that they have
Yeah.
balloons on it, but
Are we hoping that they do like Bethlehem Steel?
I don't know.
That would be pretty
That
sweet.
would be pretty sweet. You pointed out yesterday in the media dining if they would
Yes.
do that again. So hey, if you guys out there, tell us what your favorite one of the leaks are so far, and comment on that, and also let us know what you would love to see when the Union finally do get a third jersey.
Yeah.
Um, you were down at training this week, and yes, you throw a pillow
I
at
had
the.
to throw a pill at the cat across the room because he was up to no good.
Anyway, you were at the trade this past week, and you got to speak to some players.
Yes, I did.
And as we talked about in the previous episode, thanks for everybody that listened again.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go back. We talked a lot about the debuts. You were able to interview Malik. You were able to interview William.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talked to Sal and David as well,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of got their comments.
Yep. And then earlier, like, I talked to Eddie Davis about his debut as well. So,
And I
so
think we played that in the last episode.
so I got to talk to those guys about their debuts, and that was great. And I compiled that into an article. It's on the oneteamweagreeon.com. So,
Yeah, go definitely check it out. But want to start out here with some interviews. We talked to you. You talked to William.
William Ferreira.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me just make sure I got the volume on there. Yep, we're good. You talked to William and Malik. So here's kind of your thoughts on that.
So obviously for me and my family it was really special because something I've been looking forward to my whole life playing professionally. And yeah, it was a really good game. Felt really special, especially with this group because some of these kids I've been with some of them since I was maybe like 9, 8, and I'm really grateful for Richter, Fred, Henry, all the coaching staff for believing in me and giving me a chance at the pro level. Yeah.
It was really good because it was in Cincinnati, it was in away, and my parents live in Michigan, so they were able to go to the game and watch. And coming in and scoring, like the last second of the game, like it was incredible. Like seeing my parents in the crowd, and it was like a really good feeling.
Okay, and the second one there was Malik Jakupovic. So that,
Go ahead.
yeah. So first of all, I wish you guys could have seen, like, if I had video of this too, women cool. First of all, William and Malik, they're both 16, okay, and both signed to pro contracts with Union 2. So first of all, William, you know, I wouldn't say he was like real nervous talking. He was emotional, like talking about it a little bit. Like it meant a lot to him making that d debut, I think.
You could hear it in his voice. I think
Yeah,
as soon as you sent me that, I texted you. I was like, man, you could really tell he was really happy.
he was.
Um, no, and that was great because he's had now played in 2 matches and he's really looked strong. So obviously, again, you love to hear it. You love to see that the stories about, he spent a lot of time with these guys, and now for him to kind of come up and have those opportunities, you can really tell him meant a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, what a cool story for Malik. His first appearance, he scores a goal. His family was there, and we're going to talk about it again. We'll talk about the game that he was just in as well because that was also memorable. So yeah, like what a time it's been for those two. And Williams' debut was really strong too.
It
He
was.
impressed a lot of people, and obviously Malik impressed a lot as well. So,
And we got more
mhm,
comments from Malik coming up later.
yeah,
But no, both of them have been very impressive. And then um, I know a lot of people today have been talking about Malik, and we'll get
hmm
to that in a little bit. But no, great kid. And again, you just love to hear the stories. And again, this is why we cover it. But let's go now talk about Sal and David. They
yeah,
debuted last week
in
in Columbus
Columbus.
officially. I know David kind of was at the Red Bull
He
Open Cup
he
game.
started the not the red. He started in the 11 game.
Indy 11, I'm sorry. Yes. the Indy 11 got the Open Cup game in
Yeah,
my
and he
mind.
started that at left back too.
He did. So you actually did ask him that, and he
Hmm.
did mention that. So we'll play those clips now for you. And
Yeah, anyone doesn't know he's usually a midfielder, so.
yeah,
Too. Here's
It's
Sal.
obviously like good to get my MLS debut. It's not the ideal debut because we didn't come out with 3 points and all, but it felt good. The energy, it was a different atmosphere, especially to come on at such a crucial time. The trust of my teammates and the coaching staff was awesome. So, and my family, like you said, my family was obviously happy. Got on the phone with my dad and all my family at the end of the game. They were happy. So.
I mean, it was definitely a challenge, playing outside back, but it was a challenge I was willing to, take, and whatever helped the team advance for the Open Cup. I mean, Bradley gave me some instructions, I kind of took it, and, I was ready for it. But, I mean, the experience was great, and I think it kind of helped me making my debut. So I went in there, calm, relaxed, versus Columbus. So, I mean, I felt great, just looking to get more time in the near future for sure.
so yeah, I mean, there was Sal and David. Yeah, I mean, you got again be happy for both those kids. We talked about it last episode. Sal put himself in some good positions.
He did. I thought he looked, that was some of the best I've seen from him. I thought. So,
Yeah, and I mean, even yesterday, he did get his, as we like to joke, the obligatory offsides. But I'm
yeah.
starting to wonder now. We've kind of said this with Rick too, where he would do the kick and players would be offsides with the second team.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that transition that where Sal's just anticipating that run.
Yeah.
Now, there are times you can tell it's like, come on, Sal, you got to pay attention, but maybe that's one of those cases. But he certainly, I thought even yesterday, and we probably won't talk about much, but that give and go with Malik and
He
Malik
had
kind
good
of,
assists yesterday.
yeah, I mean, the plays with Malik, you could tell those two have played together in the past and they have that chemistry. And that was really good to see. And he talked about when we interviewed him, his parents and how important that is. So for him to add that was really good. And then for David, hey,
Hmm.
making the most of his opportunities. Again, I thought not being a defensive back,
Hmm.
he was serviceable.
Yeah.
Um, and he again yesterday looked good. He's looked good in his appearances as of recent. And there's again somebody with the Open Cup game on Wednesday. These opportunities we hope still to see to come because again, they're going to benefit them when they play at the MLS Next Pro level, but they're going to really get the growth at the MLS level.
Yeah. And honestly, I'd like to see Doug get more time with the first team.
I still think we'd all like to see CJ get some
And
time.
CJ, I've been saying this. I really want to see
I
CJ
mean,
get a shot.
especially with our midfield situation now,
Yeah.
is coming back around, but would love to see him get some more opportunities.
Hmm.
Again, like we said last episode, this is going to benefit these players as they move forward. Look, the Union guy, are chasing. They're what 2 points out of the top
Yeah, they're
spot
right
right
in the
now.
hunt there.
They're right in the hunt. You don't want to maybe overstart those kids, but at the same time, this depth, this experience with the way style, getting these kids involved is only going to benefit their development long term. So,
Yeah.
also special shout out to Nelson Pierre,
Yes.
who made his debut for Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah. Yeah. That was great to see him get that opportunity. And, um, you know, wish it could have worked out for him being
Yeah,
with Union, but honestly, it's great to see that for him though. Definitely just, another local guy to us too. So, um hoping Nelson goes and does well. Not against the Union, of course, but really happy for Nelson. When we talked to him, just really um nice kid, and you want to see him do well.
you do. And then you also, for his start, he played 11 minutes, was 1-on-1 completed passes. Um, didn't really see a whole lot, but again, got in a game. Um, you know, at the end there, where it was a disappointing loss for the Whitecaps against LA Galaxy, but
Yeah, and that's the
at
thing
least he
too.
got some time.
I know, and people like crashing out about the Union losing two in a row, but it's like, Well, hey, the Union didn't do as bad as the Whitecaps did there, so
And we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But before we talk about the match, one other note, Ryan Richter.
yeah. So Ryan Richter was named MLS Next Pro Coach of the Month for June, and that's pretty awesome because he gosh, I was about to take out down the cords there. So Ryan did a great job with managing his team. They were undefeated in June,
Yeah,
and they were dealing with some very thin rosters at the time too. Like a lot of
like
players,
3 players
they'd
and a
have like four
goalkeeper.
players on the bench,
Yeah.
and one of them would be a goalkeeper. So, and they went to PK shootouts a couple times, and they won those. So, just really great job from him, and they've been just climbing those standings. And of course, as of now, they're in second place, but they really had a strong June. And I know Ryan was hoping for a win against some of those teams like Orlando City B, he thought should have been a win, and all that. But kudos to him. And I thought it was cool. I actually was there at training when he found out he got that honor as well. So I got to talk to him about that too.
Yeah, so we're gonna play that clip here right now, and here's Ryan on his thoughts of being an MLS next pro coach.
Yeah, that's really nice, but I think that's there's no bigger team award than that because it's just a reflection of the hard work that the staff and players have put in through this month and the way that we've approached every single day. So I'll say thank you to all the guys that I'm working with every day. To get that honor is a really nice thing for our team.
All right. Well, yeah, congrats on that.
So apologize for the wind there in the background. It was a little windy that
It didn't
day.
even feel like that windy that, but yeah, it just picks it up. So, but yeah, really well deserved for Ryan. I have to say, I think he's been a really, really good fit with Union too.
I think so too, and you hear what he says. It's about the players and the success they're having.
Hmm.
You'd like to hear that, but I think all things considered, having big shoes to fill with Marlon,
Yeah,
um, he's done very well. I also feel that he is, you know, somebody that continues to grow and develop as a coach also.
100%. He was with the academy to start off after he retired from his playing career and kind of worked his way up. And Jim really, I think, thought highly of him as well to bring him on. What was it, the 2022 season? So it's been great to see, and I've noticed he has a good way with those players. He really gets the whole developmental side of it as well. So, but yeah, congrats to Ryan on that.
Yeah, it was wonderful to see. So, oh, and by the way, one other news note before we get into talk about Nashville game. Emma, you two were named team of the match day.
Yeah, just found, yeah, they were, yep, team of the match day. Just found that out today. So congrats to Union 2. And actually, I don't think we mentioned it before, but also, um, yeah, Malik Jakupovic and Jameer Johnson were named to the MLS Next All-Star team.
Yes, yeah.
So that will occur, actually,
Did we announce that last
I
episode?
forget if we did.
We might have,
We
but
might have, but if we didn't, yeah, it's July 21st. It's right after the Houston game because we're like, oh, too bad we can't stick around because we could just like
right.
shoot up to Austin, and do that. But
That would be a really cool experience. But
yeah,
yeah, no, and well deserved. So
yes.
anyway, let's get in and talk about Philadelphia's 1-0 defeat at Nashville. Now that's twice this year. Nashville's beaten the Union.
With PKs and that,
But like I told you, going into that match, they lead MLS in PK takes and makes. So I mean, I just thought overall that was a match as that match was going on. I was like, hey, let's get out of here with a point. And
so close, I would have been totally fine with it being a 0-0 draw, to be
we
honest.
would. But I think first off, a couple notes on the roster. Obviously, Frankie still hadn't returned. Mikel's still out, which again, I know Todd Jose talked about this on Todd's episode, but podcast, but it was weird when I've never heard this season. He brings up a good point. I never heard that they were like, we're going to try and see if like kind of rehab works, like this way works. Did you listen to Carnell the
I
way
did. I
it was
did.
just a weird way of, I don't think maybe there's more into it, but
So
you've
my
seen
yeah.
him on training. He's been running around.
Yeah, so I was at training last Thursday and I saw, first of all, I saw Frankie out there just kind of like doing some dribbling a bit, kicking the ball into like a bin type thing. Just doing some ball skills and looking all right. And so hopefully he'll be back soon. Fingers crossed on that. And I saw Mikkel just kind of jogging around the field, around the perimeter of the fields with a coach. And yeah, so that was a good sign, I thought. To me, what it sounded like from Bradley's comments is like seeing if this course of treatment worked. Like, okay, the way they did it, hopefully that's working, other than like getting a surgery or something. That's what it kind of sounded like to
Yeah.
me. Like,
So
so
is it
see.
more serious? I mean, I'm sure we'll get an update tomorrow from Carnell.
For what it's worth, he seemed like he was jogging well. So,
So we'll see.
I mean, I'm no,
Yeah, no, but
doctor. I am not qualified to comment on that, but just for my, you know, just my thoughts there. Um, but yeah, the Union got Ty Baribo back.
back and we
He
got
was out there fully training. Bizo was out there fully training. But Jesus Bueno had just kind of re-aggravated his
yeah,
hamstring,
and so
which
he,
Bradley said it was like something minor, and he might be like day to day on that. So
so
we'll
here
see.
so here's Bradley on that
Yep.
on Jesus's injury. So play that.
Yeah, it's very minor, but he's still feeling something there. So I do foresee. I don't know if it's day to day, but we'll have to assess when we get back to Philly.
Yeah, so I mean, there again, it's a situation where, you know, we could see maybe David Vasquez. I
Yeah.
mean, Harrell's coming back but Vasquez plays on the other side, played is playing that role right
Yeah.
now with you've had CJ and Kellen up top. So
Yeah.
could you see David if he needs some time? Possibly. I mean, you could see maybe Indy now that Quinn's back. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some more options available, I should say. But yeah, hoping for speedy recoveries. I think the big one, honestly, is Mikel.
Yeah. Because he's been
He
missed.
plays well with Bruno, plays well with Ty, plays well with the entire field.
And like I said on the Cross the Pitch podcast after the game, Mikel, I will defend Mikel Ua. I think he's been sorely missed. And people give him so much crap, but oh my goodness, like he does so much to help set up things. And I know people want him to score. He's a striker, they want him to score. Yeah, we want him to score. But just he does so much that other than scoring as well, it's been so beneficial.
I mean, I think we keep saying this every week. I mean, and we'll talk about the goal scoring here in a second. But yeah, my only concern is you want to get him back healthy.
Correct.
We don't want to have a situation where it just keeps re-aggravating, and now we're, kind of in Now, look, at the same, kind of delaying and delaying, and look, he's on his last year of his contract. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, the bigger picture is going to start to wonder, and I'm curious what you guys all think. With as good as he's been with both Ty and Bruno, and even Donovan at times, uh, would if they're going to go out and probably if he doesn't resign, they're going to go out and get another striker, forward. So, do we want to get somebody similar like that?
Malik's gonna be up with the first team. You heard it here first, folks.
I have no.
I'm just kidding. He's not there yet. He's doing great
Let's
though.
pump the brakes
I know,
on that.
I'm just joking.
And
Of
I know
course.
you are. But
But the kid's good. We'll talk about him.
we'll talk about him. Anyway, but here's Bradley kind of just talking about the defeat. This is kind of opening comments in case you haven't heard it. Kind of just giving his thoughts on the team's performance.
To have Ty Baribo back. Second of all, Congrats to BJ. Yeah, I mean, he's had put on a performance with his team that got better with a man down, more aggressive than us, and we're going to have to take that on the shoulders and learn from that. And yeah, it's unfortunate the way the game ended, but like I said, there's many positives, and I think down the road we're getting our players back, and we're getting more competitive, and we can now create the normal training environments that we need, and excited about the next couple of days.
So right there, I guess the first big picture item, big ticket item is the red card.
Yeah, so I I know a lot of fans know this. Being up a man is the Union's kryptonite.
There have been, you could go back to Miami last year and other
The MLS Cup, even.
MLS Cup, other big moments that the Union have dropped points, but also with a man up. I wouldn't say this is dropping points, but suffered a little
Even
defeat.
just like the Dallas game, Union were up a man and well, they drew, but like they just
Not
yeah.
capitalizing on the opportunities. Granted that.
Yeah. So I like literally when the red card happened, I'm like I can hear my friends from 136 yelling, "No, no, 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 no. We suck up a man. We suck up a man." Put that just say no, we don't want that red card, you know. I could totally hear them.
I
You
mean,
know,
that was a red. I mean,
it was.
Ty got cleats to the face. Luckily, it wasn't anything serious,
Yeah, because I'm
but
like, "Oh God, no."
I also don't think it's intentional though.
No.
I
No.
think it was an aggressive play, got kind of over, committed,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, kind of like the penalty, it's a foul, and you
Yep.
gotta take that. It is frustrating that the Union did not capitalize, but
Yeah.
again, I go back to the point of, and it's frustrating that the Union dropped points late in the game. Again, we saw that in Miami. We saw that against
Columbus. So,
Columbus at home.
yeah.
Um, those are frustrating things,
Yeah.
but you can count on say Union have scored the most late. We've seen it with
Yeah.
Marcus
Mhm.
Anderson.
And Ty did it in the Galaxy game, you know. So, I mean, Bradley mentioned it. You know, sometimes you're on the good side of that, sometimes you're not. I mean, that's just the ebbs and flows of the game, and it's unfortunate. It is, and
I mean,
that was heartbreaking for sure.
I could also then go on to say that, it was against a Charlotte team that didn't have Ajiman, and was also
The Union were also missing a ton of people too.
it was
So,
also a reeling LA Galaxy team that should never have been up 2-0 after a slow start.
don't let
So
us beat, you know,
you
Vancouver though.
you can go. The point is, there is a very good team, which somebody we were talking with Tyler Fisher out there at Columbus.
Yeah.
Nashville right now is probably the best team in the league. I would say you got Inter Miami. Do they make a late push with all the games in hand? Columbus is always around.
These
Cincinnati is a good team.
like the East is tough.
The East is tough, and then you got Chicago, who is sleeping there. They're up and down.
Hmm.
Who knows? We'll see and then who knows what the transfer window. But I still think at the end of the day, I said this a couple weeks back after the Charlotte game. I said, get 3, 4 points in these next 3 games with the limited bench, get everybody healthy. Well, the Union were a minute or two away from getting 4 points. So
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is it could have been a lot worse. I think the McConaughey foul, first time I thought that was a good play, but then you go back and watch it, and yeah, it's a pen.
And I'm not going to put it, I mean, obviously that was unfortunate for Makanya, but also preceding that, like immediately preceding that,
Yeah,
Bizo.
I mean, you feel for him because there again, it's like we've always said about Olivier. He'll play 99 minutes, he'll play 99% of the game fine.
When he's good, he's really good. And when he gets cooked, he gets really cooked.
Or he makes
Or he makes some dumb blunder and
MLS Next Cup,
no in
Eastern
between.
Conference Finals. My gosh,
Eastern Conference Final 2000 or 2021. Like
CCL against LA Galaxy goes and gets a red card.
Yeah, just those little things. And
Or wasn't with him not get, dude, Ali get a red card.
like I said, I have
Somebody
been
got
praying
red,
to Saint Raphael, patron saint of healing, okay? Like the good Catholic I am, okay? Get Mikkel and Frankie and everyone else healed.
the good news is you got Nathan coming back.
Thank goodness. A very
Yeah.
rested Nate and Quinn, by the way. So I sure got hope that they are able to play on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think they're going to play. I think you'll see them probably on Saturday too, moving forward. I mean,
Well, I think Saturday for sure.
for sure. But yeah, who knows what will happen? Again, I thought Union had their chances, but I also thought Andre did a good job of keeping him in the game.
He did. He made some really nice saves. He didn't have like a ton of saves to make, but the ones he did were phenomenal.
There were
And
some opportunities early on, a couple turnovers, and just
yeah.
creations where hey, you could have seen it. And
Yeah.
here's Bradley's thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't think he had too much to do, and he was brave, and that's what I liked. His kicking, his distribution was excellent. It looks like he's recovered from his knee injury, so that's a big plus for us, and it's a positive. But yeah, I don't think he put a foot wrong.
Yeah, that's big that he mentioned, that he's recovered from the injury too. Like it seems like he's doing much, much, much better.
No, I think he had a couple big plays that kept the Union in that game early to stretch it out
Yeah.
there at the end. Almost gets a hand on that PK by Hani, which was
Yeah.
why Hani's a good PK taker.
And he saved Tani before. We all remember
And
2021.
I think, was it Todd said it was only like his only shot of the game, so he capitalizes on it, and that's why Hani's Hani.
Yeah, but to get burned twice by Hani and PK, against Nashville this
tough.
season, it's a bummer.
But I thought they did an excellent job against Sam Surridge and against Hani. They limited them.
They didn't let Sam Surge score against them, so there's that.
So they shut down their two players. Good teams are gonna find a way to win, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I was so hoping Ty would come in and just like he'd score because get the
and then with McCanya, he had that one play slips, makes that great sliding tackle after he recovers. He made a couple good defensive plays.
Was really good until that blunder.
But that is there again, you even said it, and I think Jose even mentioned it, where Andre has the angle on Hani.
I wish McConaughey would have let Andre handle that.
But there again,
take a chance there.
We've seen moments where McConaughey's made blunders like this.
MLS Next Pro Cup last year.
And other times, and then has gone and learned from those mistakes. So you hope that this is, again, a teaching moment, kind of like, again, Andrew Rick with, now you can say that was also Nate and some of the other players.
Yeah, but McConaughey has been learning. Like I feel like he really does learn from these experiences. He's been getting better and better, and I think he's done an incredible job on the whole. So
I think so too. And then on the flip side, Union don't really create chances.
And are we surprised when Ty got subbed in obviously, but he's still getting back and forth. Yeah. But when you're missing Quinn, missing Quinn is huge. Missing Mikkel, and I think missing Frankie has been big too. It just there's just all those parts there that have led to that. So of course they haven't scored many goals in the last few games. They've just kind of been treading water a little bit. So
but I mean, here's Cornell's takes on that.
Yeah, probably a bit of both. I mean, yeah, it's just natural. We're going through a couple of things right now, which, if anyone expects for us to go through like unscathed throughout the season, then, you haven't been around the league long enough. We know the sort of difficulties around the league with all the congestion and what's going on and the May stretch that we had. So, I mean, yeah, no doubt. The team has performed in a certain way, and we're so happy with the boys and everyone's contributions right now. And for us to go through a 2-game stretch here without a result, and all the creation that goes with it, like I spoke about in my opening statement, I'm happy to get the training rhythm back, to get the competitive nature back, and to be training exactly how we need to be training. So I think that's a big part of it, to get back to who we are and get up back on the training field.
And I kind of curious what that certain way is, but my only kickback to that is, yeah, no one expected you to go blasting through the league. I don't think any of us expected that.
No.
My thought is, well, that's fine that you say that, but good teams are going to find ways to get those points. Now, having said that, they did find a way to get points against Charlotte. They got that PK against Chicago.
Yep.
You can counteract say Chicago's crap on at home. They're not the greatest. Um, but you draw out a game again, you were man up after the injuries against Dallas. I mean, but again, Donovan had that golden opportunity. Damiani, Damiani again continues to put himself in great positions. I'm very still. I know Jose is too. Very optimistic about him.
I am too.
I think a lot of us that follow this team and watch this as closely as we do are very optimistic on him. I think he's going to find that rhythm, and once he does, I think it's going to be kind of like watch out again.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
plus, he kind of replaces that PK spot. So those are some good things. But again, on the flip side, I don't. I think he's right in the sense that there is an ebb and flow of the season. We saw this with other teams in the past
Yeah.
where just they go through dry spells
Yep.
and then they go off. Now you hope the Union go off, but
I think they're gonna be better once they get some of these players back.
oh, I think 100%. And I think you could easily see that this week. We said this past 3 matches were going to be a tough stretch. Um, Now you got 2 matches against Red Bulls,
Yeah,
which
that's crazy.
which is good. I said this to somebody after the game. I said that I feel like that's a little overkill,
It's just
again,
how
but
it's
again,
how
you
it
didn't know
happened.
this when the Open Cup and all
That
that was
just
decided. It's just the way the drawings work.
just
But
happened.
but then you got a team in Montreal who really is what they are at this point. You hope for points there.
Hey, are we gonna see Brandon Craig start against the Union?
You might. And
Right. I know he did the last game.
then you go to Houston. Houston's been playing better as of late. They had a nice result the other
They
day.
had a big result the other day.
So they're playing a lot better and they're going to get Jack McGlynn back.
Happy birthday, Jack McGlynn, by the way,
Yeah,
as of
shout out
recording
to
this.
Jack. Happy birthday. And then, you go against a Colorado team that is up and down. They got talent, but they've been up and down as well. So there's opportunities. And then you see some of the other teams like Columbus, Nashville. They got some tough games coming up.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. So again, I think earlier in the year before the Union really had that big May, we were all like, this is a top 4 to 5 team. And I still hold that this is a top 4 to 5 team that if they
Hey,
get
yeah.
healthy
If they
and
get
they
home
get
field advantage for
and they get
playoffs,
run into a good rhythm heading into the playoffs, who knows?
yeah.
But I think the bigger thing is can they stay in contention top of the Eastern Conference
Yep.
and continue to move forward and just get healthy. That's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at. So, do you have anything else before we kind of transfer over to some Union 2 talk?
Yeah, no, I think, and we've heard other people say this, if the Union have a big week against the Red Bulls, then I think that's going to wash away a lot of the doubt, a lot of the negativity.
We'll
So,
see.
I
Yeah.
mean, winning is kind of the best remedy to that negativity. So, yeah, I'm not ready to crash out, as the kids say, but I think having good results against Red Bull this week would
That's always
be
the
huge.
key. Just kind of get back on the winning
Yeah.
ways,
Yep.
getting points.
Yeah.
So,
And I think honestly, I think Quinn and Nate are gonna come back with like things to prove too. Like
oh,
I think
100%.
they're gonna be raring to go, if I'm being honest.
For sure, for sure. So let's get into some Union 2 talk.
Oh, and one other thing
Oh,
before we do, one thing we didn't mention at all, which I'm surprised you didn't. Cavan made his first MLS start.
yeah.
So whether
I
that was
mean,
the right match for it to happen, it happened. I don't I mean, I think honestly, Bradley's probably trying to look
I
for a
didn't even
spark
put that
there.
in my notes. I
But just
know,
I wanted to note that.
yeah, no, he's the second youngest MLS player to make a start. and the youngest for the Union, which again, congratulations
Yeah.
to
He
Kevin.
did okay, but
Did okay,
he's
but
also he's 15, so
I mean, I saw some people dunking
I
on.
wanted to see Marcus come in,
Right.
but
No, I mean, I thought
yeah.
Kevin.
But congrats to Kevin on getting his first MLS start. I mean, that's a big moment, so
I think you're going to continue to play him against some teams. Maybe you play him against Montreal, maybe does a little better, but you're putting him up against some of the best teams in the league.
that was a big task going up against
But it's
Nashville
also
for his first
good. It's also
for him though.
And Columbus. I mean, it's a good thing to give him up and give him some opportunities.
See what you got there with him.
I'm fine with that in a pinch. Now,
Yeah.
I don't want him starting if Quinn's available or something like that.
Right.
But again, you're gonna have to learn at some point.
Yep.
So, and it's not like the Union have him forever. They got limited time with
Yeah, so they want to see what they got there. So
they gotta see with what they have, and I'm fine with it. But
I'm also fine with him getting, time with Union too, which segue into the next topic,
yeah,
Union 2. So I said to you, Kyle, I said before the Union 2 match, I'm like, I need a really good Union 2 victory to, you know, to to forget about some of the previous day. But no, and that's what we got. So
yeah, Union will
Union 2.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Union 2, they beat Toronto FC 2 5-0. So
Yeah,
that was fun.
yeah. Well, it was fun. I mean, you had Pierce Holbrook return the net.
He
Um,
didn't have too much to do, but he did
no,
make one. They had one shot on goal, and he made a nice save on it. But other
yeah,
than that, it was like he had a pretty easy day, and
yeah,
no PKs for this match finally, because the last two were decided by PKs.
yeah. And we saw Sal, Marcus, Neil, um, David. Were playing and after the flight back from Nashville.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I think, and we'll play the clip here in a bit, but when I was looking at Toronto FC 2, they've had some nice mid-table wins. They really
yeah.
kind of just fit. They're just an average team.
Like Ryan said that they seemed better than they were last year, like from what he was seeing when I
Yeah.
talked to him, and
I mean, they
so
had
he was
beaten
excited for it.
Orlando City too, who the Union just drew. And they've had some other good wins on their day, but
Yeah, their goalkeeper had just been named
MLS.
goalkeeper of the month or whatever. So
Yeah, so they've had a good run as of late. But yeah, from the beginning moment, you could just see the communication in the midfield. I talked to Ryan about that. There was just much more cohesiveness, I felt.
mhm.
Um, you had Eddie and Marcus very
Love
active.
that pairing.
Yeah, I love that pairing. First 15 minutes, all set across in, thanks to Anderson. Eddie just couldn't get a foot on it. Um, Marcus finally did get that goal there in the first half, put the
Yeah.
Union up 1-0. And then Eddie and a couple other plays where they just like there was a shot by CJ that just kind of bent a little
Hmm.
too wide. But I just remember sitting there going, well, has Strong even had a shot on target? Because you're right. Like, Pierce didn't really have much to do. I mean, anytime they would even get a play, it was Gio, it was Raphael, even Neil at times
Yeah.
shutting them down. I mean, there's just good defensive play and
Yeah.
communication overall.
Yeah, that back line and also Isaiah, like they were all doing a good job there that Pierce didn't have to do too much. And um so that was impressive. And um I thought that, you know, really solid team win.
Yeah, so let's play from Ryan here. Some comments. So here is Ryan on the thoughts on the match.
Yeah, I think it was another strong performance. In the first half too, I think we played really well. And then as the game went on, it got so open at the end, and it was yeah, we could score probably 3 more goals in like the last. I don't know. To be fair, it's long and hot. They made 3 subs at half, so they couldn't make any more of the changes. But no, it was good. Obviously, it was 5 goals. It was a good performance.
So
Yeah.
that was Ryan. I'm gonna play CJ's clip but I'll talk about
Yeah.
CJ coming in a second here. So, but no, he's right because in the second half the wheels kind of fell off for Toronto. I mean,
Their goalkeeper.
you had William have that
Yeah.
launch, Jameer had that, yeah, and then you
Yeah.
had
Well, the big thing was Toronto's goalkeeper, he collided like with one of his teammates.
Yeah.
Because he kind of he got the ball and then he kind of spilled it, and one of his teammates kind of like ran into him, and it was just like this chaos there. And so he was getting checked for concussion and whatnot. He ended up leaving the game, and so they had to sub in their backup goalkeeper, and that's when the wheels really started to fall off, really for Toronto. And Union 2 were just on the attack. Like, I mean, the whole game really, Union 2 were just
Yeah.
like
I mean,
pressing,
he
pressing,
made a
pressing,
couple
pressing.
nice saves
He
though.
did. I mean, you could see why he was, um,
He
awarded the,
played a couple
he
games for
fits.
them last year, but made a nice save on Jameer. But yeah, there were some opportunities where you could have just, they could have put up another two, three goals like Ryan said.
Yeah, Marcus had that nice goal, but then yeah, CJ scores. So CJ had a really nice goal.
That was a nice cross by Marcus, kind of deflects, lands right to CJ. CJ knocks it in.
Yeah, and then the third goal comes. That's with
David.
David got fouled, just a little bit outside the box. He gets a free kick outside the box and blasts that like really, really nice
Very
shot. It
nice.
was real good class shot from David. So he scores. It's 3-0.
And then Malik
Malik
comes
comes in.
in, and nice little dump off there by Sal. He finishes that. And then there was that kind of like deflection ball bounce around, gets out, kind of good. They get it out to Malik, and he just beats the keeper.
Oh, Malik's like second goal for the
It was
brace.
really
And
nice.
and both were in stoppage time, by the way. They ended up having 14 minutes of stoppage time because of the injuries and all the different things that happened. Because Pierce was down for a little bit too at one
It
point.
was.
So he got back up. But so like there was a lot of stoppage time. But Malik, his goals were really nice. Sal gets a couple assists on the day. William Ferreira had like a secondary assist. I thought, and Kellen was big on the build up for some of that too. Like
Oh, he was huge.
Kellen had a great game.
You would like to. I think he even had assist on that Marcus goal.
Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah, so I thought Kellen had a phenomenal game. So that's great to see.
So no, it was a really good game after two kind of mediocre games. I think Ryan kind of raided the ship there.
Yeah.
Here's what CJ only had to say about the game.
Domination. I thought that we worked so hard. I mean, not often do you play an 114-minute game in the regular season. The guys that came in, like Malik, Willie, Jam, Jordan, all those guys, they made a difference. It's awesome. We worked, we sprinted all the way until the last second of the game, that was awesome to see.
Yeah, do you feel like the communication from the midfield and forwards was a lot better than maybe in the previous two games
Yeah.
where you kind of having some problems with creation?
No, for sure. We were way more clinical in this game, and we played for each other. We made the extra pass. We were relentless, and yeah, that was a big step in the right.
And that's right there the key. I mean, they were making that extra pass. They were waiting for the runs. They weren't like so. Where sometimes I'm watching a game, thinking, just settle down, settle down.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. And then,
Oh, and let me add, poor CJ he was so exhausted. He played the whole game and it was hot out too. I
yeah,
mean, so but man, what a game for them.
yeah, it was. I mean, when CJ came in, I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm exhausted."
Yeah.
You could tell they were all
Oh yeah.
exhausted. We were talking to people after the game. The players just kind of
They got off the field pretty quickly.
yeah, you could tell they were exhausted. And then we could talk about Malik. He came in, had those two nice goals.
Yeah.
After the match, I kind of just went over to one of the people at comms and I just said, like, do you know how many minutes he's played so far this year? He's tied for the team leading goals now.
Yeah, a whole bunch of players have 3 goals, by the way.
And they were like, yeah, he played 31 minutes so far total. So
He's got 3 goals in 31
in
minutes.
stoppage time, by the way. So again, let's take that with a grain of salt. He's had 3 goals in cleanup time. Obviously against Cincinnati too, who's so, and this is a middle road team. Let's see what he does against like a Chattanooga if he even plays. But
Yeah.
again, if you haven't seen Malik, he's fun to watch. I thought he looked phenomenal.
I mean, this is a 6'3", 16-year-old and
That's why people are high. So
he's been fun to watch so far. And I got to talk to him twice this week, which was cool. Like I said, we talked to him about his debut, but then we talked about
I feel
Matt.
great, honestly.
yeah,
Here you go.
so Just to show this. This is his thoughts on the goal, and then also just what CJ has to say about
Yep.
him.
I feel great, honestly, and again, like I said last time, my parents came to support, and just excited and happy to score another 2 goals in front of them.
That kid. I live with him. He's awesome. He's hard. He's always hungry to score. He always takes his chances when he gets them. Great kid.
I just love CJ
CJ,
Trey's
it's
response.
like I love them. Yeah, because for those who don't know, okay, so Malik's from Michigan, okay, from like outside Detroit, and so he lives in the residency house. Like a bunch of the players, they live with basically a host family. And the Union did like a little feature on it and everything. It's pretty cool to see that. But yeah, the some of the players who are not from the area that don't live, around there with their parents, they live in this residency house. And so, Malik's one of them, CJ's there, and I know like Sal and Davi and Eddie, like those guys have all been there. So they talked to us a bit about that too, and we had some of them on the pod. But
Yeah,
it's like Malik really looks up to those guys, and he talked about that. I don't know if you had that
he,
clip lined up.
I do not have that clip
Okay.
lined up, but in
So
your article,
yeah,
and
it's in
it
my
talks
article.
about his relationship with Sal.
Yeah, like how he really with Sal and David, like how he just kind of he inspired to be like them. He like basically pay attention to their habits and how how they handled everything. So I thought that was really cool to hear from him about that. But it's all in my article. You can all check it out. So
And then just one final note before we kind of wrap this discussion up again in the Open Cup. Um, I, I know we keep bringing this up week after week after week with Ryan. He's probably getting tired of us hearing us about it. But just again, the job from Rafael Uzcategui and Giovanni Sequeira.
I've been telling you all, the Venezuelans, I am super high on them. They are doing phenomenal.
They are doing
Yeah.
phenomenal. You're starting to see Isaiah starting to feel healthy.
Yeah.
He has his
Isaiah
moments,
looks better every
but
day. Every
he's
time.
he's doing a good job. And Neil, he's kind of ready to make the leap, but he's hanging in there. I think him and Raphael do good, but
Yeah, yeah, those two pair up really well. I know Raphael talked about how, you know, um, how it's been with Neil as well.
yeah,
Like,
he really looks up to him. And so the one thing I noticed yesterday, there was a couple plays where, yeah, I mean, Toronto was able to break through. And then you would see Gio either run the guy down, break up a play, or there'd be a clutch play. And then Raphael a couple times, even when he would get beat, the communication, the speed there, the hustle. I
yeah.
mean, again, Gio's a midfielder, but to
Yeah,
see him adapt to this role and
he's really
really,
embraced it. Like he's been
he's
really
been
fun to
impressive.
watch in that role. Like I think Gio brings great energy. I
He
really like what
does.
he's doing.
So here's Ryan. I asked him, I said, does it keep surprising you each week? And I kind of knew the answer, but I just wanted to ask him, see
Hmm.
what he would say.
Yeah, I mean, not really, because again, with those two guys, it's their mentality is amazing. They're winners, and they'll do anything to be successful. So I'm so proud of them when they are. And it's for Gio 3 games now in this position, and he's doing amazing. So you got to keep that rolling. And Rafa's been consistently good all season long. So it's kind of what we come to expect from him, and now Gio that's coming too.
So yeah, I mean, kind of what you expect. But again, if you guys haven't gotten out and seen those two, and you like defensive play, they've been very impressive to see. Now, I mean, for an MLS Next Pro level, but at the same time, Gio, like I said, is not a defensive player, so it's quite remarkable to see that.
Yeah, like I said, I've been really impressed. And, I'm telling you guys, at least, if you don't get out to Subaru Park and watch Union 2 there, at least watch on MLS Season Pass because like they've been really good. And yeah, it's not Gio's, normal role. He's stepped into that and embraced that role after Gavin Wetzel, who was so reliable at right back, just playing defense there. He went off to college. So he's at Pitt now. So, and Henry Bernstein, by the way, I believe has departed as well. He's
Yep.
at Maryland. So, Zach Mastrodemos is going very soon to UCLA, but he was injured, so he's not been playing anyway. But, just Gio has stepped in there and stepped it up. And so it's really cool. I love his energy, honestly.
Yeah, I love it. So I mean, right now, Union in second place in the Eastern Conference, three
Yep.
behind New York Red Bulls, two.
With 2 games in hand, by the way, and they just jumped over Chattanooga, who is their opponent on Sunday, 3 p.m. at Subaru Park. So I'm just
So
gonna plug that. You all
here,
should go.
so here, I did ask CJ what he thought about that match. So
Chattanooga's going to be a really tough task. I don't know if they're top, like I think the second, but older team, physical team, more fast team, and we showed that we can compete with that today, and we got to continue that going into the weekend.
And that's just it. I mean, Chattanooga's one of those independent teams where
Their
they got
keeper's 40 years old and playing at the goalie wars at the All-Star game, apparently.
so
Oh, by the way, he's a Yakupovich.
so also beyond that, Union have played, three guys that the Orlando keeper's going, the Toronto keeper's going, and now Jakupovic's going. So hey, we'll see what Union can do. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Chattanooga's a good team. They
There was
gave
that
me,
0-0 draw at Chattanooga that
but
went
they
12 rounds of PKs
yeah.
where the keepers even had to shoot.
Where were we headed to for that game? Was that Miami? That was Miami, yeah.
No, that was Huntsville when we were heading Miami. No, the Chattanooga game was gosh, was that the day before I had the Hershey Park trip? It was in June.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um, right, because I talked to no, I'm thinking Cincinnati. Anyway, we were I forget now. It all runs together.
No,
I don't
the
know.
Huntsville game was
Huntsville was when I watched it on the plane. But no, but that was definitely memorable one. Rick was in goal for that one. But yeah, Jakubovic, their goalie who's 40, apparently some kind of distant relation of Malik, I don't know.
so
Um,
that's something to watch out for.
but yeah, like this is gonna be some grown men in some cases, so
That'll be interesting to
it's
see how the
interesting, and it's, on the home turf here, so hopefully
we'll see.
that'll be good. But it's anyone's guess who will be in goal because one thing I talked to Ryan about this at training was, just the job that the goalkeeping staff, you got Phil Whedon, Ross Kane, and all them, like they've had 4 different keepers
They really
this
have.
season, and they have the best goal differential in MLS Next Pro.
They've
It's
only
22 now, by the way, after this game. And they've given up the fewest goals. They've only given up 11 goals on the season. So, considering the fact that they've had 4 different keepers and yet they've had this continuity and excellence there, it's impressive. And we know the goalkeeping has been top notch with the Union's organization.
no, it has been. And they're fun to watch. So again, see how that kind of plays out on Sunday. But flip to the Open Cup, Union versus Red Bulls on Wednesday night.
Yep.
Believe it or not, this is the fifth time these two teams have met in the Open Cup. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I saw MLS posted something
Yeah.
or just Open Cup.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, they've advanced 3 out of 4 times they've faced Red Bulls. 2 of the 4 going to PK.
Yeah.
Previous iterations. First time since 2019 you've been in the quarterfinals. And last time, so I mean overall, Red Bulls is, they made it to the MLS Cup last year before falling to the Galaxy. I mean, they're up and down. They've had some very good wins. It's going to be a style. As Bradley will probably say tomorrow, it's like playing against ourselves again. But
Question.
yeah,
Would you play Andre or would you play Andrew Rick?
so I've thought about that, right?
Because Rick was in the other Open Cup games, but
Right,
those
and
were
he
also
needs to
USL games.
play. He needs to get some
Yeah.
playing time. It's not going to go with Union 2. Then maybe, and you rest Andre and avoid maybe an injury.
I wouldn't hate it because if it were to go to PKs again,
Oh,
we know Rick is good at them.
I mean, yeah, I want to see some rotation, what that rotation is. I mean, but also at the same time, I don't want to see this lineup. It's like, okay, what are we doing?
Right.
Right. But I have a feeling just from everything that they are going for the Open Cup this year.
Yeah, and they should. They should.
And if they do, they might have another crack at Geo's Park with Nashville, unless DC pulls the upset. We'll see on that.
Yeah.
But regardless, this is the last time there'll be any Open Cup action at Subaru Park because they'll be on the road for the next 2 rounds should they advance. I think this is a good opportunity. And one of the questions I want to ask Bradley, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe on Friday in his presser is, how do you adjust now playing a team back-to-back games? We've seen this in the past, even last year. I think it was at LA and somebody had to play each other like, or was it Houston? Somebody had to play each other back-to-back same game, and it was like different results both games. So that would be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see some rotation with both the games, but I mean, this is a really good opportunity. You're 3 games from 3 wins away. I
Yeah.
mean, you might as well put your eggs in the basket. And like we said earlier, you get a result tomorrow night, maybe you get a point on or 3 on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're really mentioning much about this past week.
Yeah, just be a little blip there. I mean, like I've said before, I mean,
I mean,
the, hey, the Eagles did that and they still won the Super Bowl. You never know. I'm not saying
but yeah, I mean, who would you
just,
rather see in that?
I'd be fine either way, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I'd be
mean,
fine with really any lineup right now. I just want this team to get healthy.
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Rick only because it'd be good for him to still get some, to get some playing time.
Yeah, he needs that.
But also I completely understand if it's going to be Andre because also, they want to have him back in there too. So,
It's a big
um,
opportunity.
yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I think as opposed to the last 2 matches where they were playing USL teams, I think lineup wise it's going to be way more like um normal sort of.
Yeah, sort of. I think you're going to see a lot more of the stars for sure, but we'll see.
Also depends on who's healthy. So, yeah.
We'll see. But anyway, yeah, Cardinals pressers tomorrow. By the time you listen to that's today. So we'll see what he has to say. But yeah, that's kind of wrapping up. And yeah, we got some more games we'll be at this week, and stay tuned for some more content coming your way.
Yes, lots of content, lots of games coming up. So we got Red Bull on Wednesday, we got Red Bull on Saturday, first team, and then we have Union 2 against Chattanooga at home on Sunday.
So yeah, if you see us around the stadium this week, say hi. We always love to talk to people, and
Yeah.
that's it for this episode of the One Team Week Round.
Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. And thank you we've gotten a few more subscribers to our
Yes,
website. So if you haven't checked it out, there is a place to subscribe on our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com. So you can get whenever we post
and it's free.
articles. Yeah, and we never charge for it.
Nope.
And so yeah, thank you to people who subscribe. Shout out to whoever's in Sweden that reads our articles and stuff because I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
there's some random places like that regularly like we see people reading from, so that's cool. I see ones from like Dublin and sometimes like other places as well. So that's cool. But thanks to everyone who's been checking
Yeah,
out our stuff. That's huge. But yeah, and but leave us comments as well. We love that. On our whether it's on our articles or on our socials or on when we post this on YouTube and everything. So we thank you, everyone who's been engaging with us, and please continue to do so and spread the word. We appreciate it.
for sure. And until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you at the game.